Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you
Good.
doing?
Very well.
Excellent.
Well, I just want to say thank you for coming in today. I know it's a little bit of a nuisance with all the construction going around, so I just want to thank you for getting through that and taking the time to come meet me today.
Thanks. Well, yeah, definitely thanks for having me. And, it's our first session, and I'm excited to get started.
Perfect. So what I typically focus on is solution-focused therapy as a therapist. So do you know what that is?
I'm not really totally clear on it. Can you give me some background and
Yeah.
tell me about it?
So in a nutshell, it's like looking forward. So you want to focus on the positive things in life, solutions to any problems or concerns you may have. That's kind of why we have a bigger windshield than we do a rear view mirror, because they want us to keep looking forward and not so much focus on the past and what's in the back.
Okay, I see. So pretty optimistic and positive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Not right now, but I think I get it.
Okay. So tell me about how your day has been today.
Well, today's been okay. It's kind of been a little stressful with, things picking up, and I'm taking a bunch of classes right now, and they're all kind of coming to a close, and I've got work things going on, and I've got I've got a conference that I just learned about that I'm going to be presenting at, so I think it's anxiety that's kind of bringing me in today, but today is all right. It's just kind of been the second half of the summer that's been really anxious for me.
Gotcha. So you're in school.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yep,
right.
I'm in grad school, and I just completed my first year, and so I'm about to start my second year.
What are you studying?
I'm studying clinical mental health and counseling.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow, that takes a lot of good insight and, good knowledge.
It does, yeah, and I think it's important for all counselors to see a therapist at one point or another.
Yeah. And you're also working, you said? Where are we working?
Yeah. I work for the university, so I'm teaching some classes, doing some research for some other professors. It's going all right. There's not a lot going on this summer, but it's starting to pick up as the fall gets closer, and it's starting to stress me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got those emails coming in. I'm on some departmental stuff. It all just it never stops. And so once these classes are finished over the summer, I pretty much turn right around and start working again in the fall.
Nice. So you said that you are presenting at a conference?
Yes.
Can I ask what conference?
Yeah, sure. It's a civic engagement conference in Columbus at Ohio State.
Wow.
And I am a part of my assistantship. I teach a class focused on listening.
Mm-hmm.
And my boss, or the instructor, she will be leading the conversation or leading the presentation, and I'll be there as the graduate, instructor for the course, and probably just presenting some data from last year, a few kind of research articles that we've been writing and things like that. So
nice. You must be very well educated in that field if your boss wants you to speak alongside her.
I hope so.
Yeah, that seems.
I hope so.
That seems really cool.
Yeah, it is cool, but it's stressful, and it makes me. She's not completely clear on what her expectations are or what the clinical expectations are. I'm sorry, not clinical, the expectations of the conference. And so I'm not really sure what to have ready for Friday and what I should, bring to this conference. And it's giving me a lot of anxiety.
Okay.
So.
All right. So one of the things that we do in solution-focused therapy is we talk about your VIPs, which is the very important people in your life. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about the important people in your life?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you. So tell me about some of the very important people in your life.
VIPs. Okay. Well, I would definitely identify my family as a network of VIPs. Everyone kind of has a different role, but my brothers and my mom and my extended family, everyone has a pretty important role in my life. But yeah, my parents, my mom and my brothers, they're all VIPs. There are also kind of my friends, my social networks that I use as important people in my life. I'd even say instructors and educators that I have or will have, or kind of just the institution at large is very supportive of me, and it's definitely a important factor in my life. So I would kind of identify that as well.
Wow, so you have a very large support network.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, so from personal to social to even professional, you have a very strong support system. That's really impressive.
Yeah, I'm trying to build it some more, but it comes with some stressors in my life that I think do contribute to the anxiety I'm experiencing. But nevertheless, there are very important people that are supportive.
How are they supportive towards you? Let's say your family, for instance. Tell me how they are supportive.
Sure. My family, there's unconditional love that is always kind of there when you need it. And I think anybody with a loving family can sympathize with that. But I think that there's also a support from my mom, who comes from academia and kind of understands a lot of the academic pressure I'm experiencing. And then there's, my extended family, who they all have jobs, and my stepbrother works for Amazon. He's way up there. He works with a lot of, difficult to work with people all the time, and he can sympathize with having anxiety or stress in an employment setting. I think they all just kind of know some of the stressful experiences I have in my life, and that's why they're family and VIPs.
Wow. How cool that you have family that's so close to you that also understands what you're going through as far as academics.
Definitely. Yeah, not everybody has that, and that's something I'm really fortunate to have. But, that's one slice of the pie. There's other things about my life that my family, though they are my VIPs, they don't totally understand, but that's okay. Like, there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, so.
Okay. So, tell me about a time where you didn't feel so stressed out about your academics and your professional career.
Kindergarten?
Yeah?
I'm kind of kidding, but maybe when, before my academic trajectory kind of got so focused into what I'm doing professionally. So I'm kind of talking about when I could just take liberal arts classes without having to have such a hard reason for taking each one. Maybe even back in high school, when you had so many classes that you had to take, everything was kind of mapped out for you. Now it's, I have my academic advisor, but ultimately I'm in the program that I want to be, and it's no one else's decision but mine.
So how is this different for you?
Then what?
Than the last time when you were not stressed?
I would say the stakes are a little bit higher. I'm close to 30 years old, and that's a great, aging is a natural and beautiful process, but it's time to kind of refine what I want to do when I grow up. And, graduate school is my ticket to that. And so, yeah, the stakes are higher, and that's what's different than, when you graduate high school and you have all of your college trajectory to learn who you are and what you're going to do. It's just kind of more factors to consider than, when I was entering my 20s. Now I'm closing my 20s, and things are a lot different.
Okay. How else is it different?
Well, I think my overall personality has changed a lot than when I started undergraduate college. And I think that's a good thing. I think I am a lot more independent. I think I'm, more refined on my personal values, my beliefs. I've, expressed my sexual orientation a lot more, and that's done a lot for me just by, accepting my self-identity. So there's a lot of things that are different, which is a good thing.
So you mentioned that you're more independent now. How is that helpful for you now?
I don't need to live at my parents' house. I can live and take care of myself, and I can be responsible for my own things. That's not saying I don't need assistance from my VIPs sometimes. But, autonomy is a really important value and kind of identity to me. So I am glad that I'm practicing that more. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm experiencing an astronomical amount of stress and kind of just pressure to fit in to the world after I graduate. That anxiety is crumbling.
Okay. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10s being you're the absolute most confident, and 0 being you're not confident at all, how confident are you that you can manage your anxiety symptoms and your stress levels?
I'd have to think of that. You said 1 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
I would... Well, I'm pretty confident that I can manage my symptoms. I'm more concerned about them, getting worse this last year of school. So I would say, to make it, to round it up, I would say like a 5.5.
Okay.
Because I do feel confident that I can manage my symptoms. I think I've managed and closeted a lot of my personality for many, many years. I know I can do that, but that doesn't change the fact that I think it has the potential to get worse.
Okay. So what makes it a 5 and say not a 3?
Probably my past management of it. Like, I've always had a lot of pressure from culture, from academia, from society, and I've been pretty good at just kind of masking that. That's why it's not, a 10, but why it's not, a 3, I get lost in my head, and I really, just kind of, I get the stress I experience from that anxiety comes out in a lot of different ways, and sometimes they're not the healthiest ways, and I think that's what makes it a 5.5, not a 3.
Okay. So you would like to learn how to manage your stress a little bit better, is what you're saying? Yeah,
I think I'm looking for healthy outlets, or even just someone to talk to.
Okay, perfect. And you also said that you have masked some things. That must be very hard for you.
Definitely. That has gotten a lot better over the years, but it still doesn't change the anxiety I experience from having to do that for so many years.
How did you manage to, let's say, deal with your anxiety for so many years? I mean, you mentioned that you're almost 30 and you've been able to deal with it pretty well. That takes very good strength and concentration.
Yeah, I think I've had the right network of resources and kind of cathartic outlets. I put myself through art school and got trained in a bunch of different mediums, and that was a really helpful outlet for expressing some of that anxiety. I've also done a lot of traveling that has not been a cathartic outlet, but it's shown me how there are zillions of other people around the world who have their situations much worse, or have a fraction amount of opportunities that I do, and that I could either focus on the negative, like what I don't have, or be fortunate for what I do have and make the most out of it.
So traveling for you is huge. It's very healthy for you to express your anxiety and stress.
Yeah, traveling, culture, diversity.
Also, having that really strong support system is really helpful for you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it helps kind of channel some of the anxiety I have from just not, from the anxiety I have from, you know, my history that I'm coming from, and like, you know, the pressure I feel or experience to get through grad school or enter the professional world, stuff like that.
And you also said that doing art and having different art outlets is very helpful for you.
Yeah, that was a critical kind of turning point in my development. I think that it serves, it's a great tool for everyone, but some people, you know, apply it and adapt it a little bit more than others. And for me, I'm just one of those people that, like, I'm not making it for anyone else. I'm really making it for myself, and that's my ultimate kind of cathartic outlet for handling the anxiety I experience from almost turning 30, you know, aging.
Wow, so you're very creative. Yeah.
Yes.
That takes a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it does. It's hard to do while I'm in grad school, but that hasn't stopped me before. So.
So, what if you woke up tomorrow morning and your anxiety was completely gone? No anxiety, no stress. What would you be doing differently that would let you know that your anxiety and stress is gone? And how would you know that your anxiety and stress is gone?
I would be on the beach drinking a latte. No, I guess, I don't know, if I woke up tomorrow and all my problems were gone, I would probably have a huge financial factor relieved. I would be I would already be in the professional, like I'd have a job, working. I wouldn't have to go through the graduation and application to job process. Like, that's stressing me out a lot. I think I would kind of just like almost fast forward 5 years to the point where I'm making a decent job. Maybe I've met somebody where I'm in a stable relationship. Maybe I'm a little bit more settled down, and you know, I think that would relieve a lot of my anxiety. Yeah.
So you want to be financially stable and also stable as far as relationships as well.
Yeah, I mean, relationships aren't stressing me out that much, but it's still a factor. I think it's a factor for everyone. I also have medical factors that stress me out a lot. I'm a diabetic, a type 1 diabetic, and so there's a lot of, you know, going to the doctor, even for a routine checkup, is a huge deal, and there's a lot of stressful factors there. It would relieve a lot of anxiety for me if I could just wave a magic wand and have a new pancreas, or just really tighten up a lot of that control.
Very understandable.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like we're almost out of time. Okay. I do want to just recap what we went through real quick. So I kind of went over my counseling theory and what I usually focus on. Mm-hmm. We did talk about your support network, the very important people in your life, which you do have a lot in very variety aspects of your life. Mm-hmm. So that is very, very big. We talked about what you were doing different when you didn't have anxiety and stress towards academics, and mm-hmm. also what is helpful for you when you do feel stress towards academics. Mm-hmm. And then we also talked about what you'd be doing if you didn't have any anxiety or stress at all.
Yeah.
So I think we've made some pretty good headway.
Yeah, it feels like we covered a lot of ground.
Okay. So maybe next week we can start talking about some goals and maybe get a treatment plan together and kind of go from there. What do you say?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you again for coming in. I hope you have a safe drive home.
Definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.